Hi there, Richard Fulmer here from Richard's Rock Rambles. So if I mention the names Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, Fleetwood Mac, Iron Maiden, what do those mean to you? What do those names mean to you? Apart from them being great rock bands, they all at one time or another had a guy by the name of Martin Birch either engineering or producing albums for them. Sadly, Martin passed away this past Sunday the 9th at the age of 71. Not quite sure yet what had happened, if he had a long-standing illness or heart attack or whatever, but needless to say, the rock world has lost, for me, possibly the best rock producer of all time. So I thought I'd just show you a couple of the albums that he's produced, some of the legendary albums that he's produced. He had a particular sound where he didn't get too involved with what was going on with them. He let the bands be themselves and sound the way they wanted to sound. He wasn't a guy who had a lot of studio trickery or, stuck his oar in where it wasn't wanted. He let the guys just get on with it. So I'm going to show you a few albums today that he, I think, either produced or engineered. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I think all in all, he did about 41 albums, which is not too shabby. Okay, so let's have a look here. The first one I'm going to show you is an early album by the band Wishbone Ash, and the album is Pilgrimage. This album had a great track called Jailbait, which was a big hit for them, as well as The Pilgrim, which is a kind of an atmospheric, quite a long track. Great sound on this album. Then we get to a couple of legendary albums here from the band Deep Purple. He worked really well with Deep Purple, and I think after Nick Simper and Rod Evans had left the band, Roger Glover and Ian Gillan had joined, and they wanted a harder edge, a louder, a heavier sound. And Martin pulled it off beautifully with these two albums. I'm talking about In Rock by Deep Purple, which was probably their first really heavy album. I mean, there's some classics on here. Speed King, Child in Time, Black Knight, Living Wreck, Into the Fire. Brilliant album. So there was that one. They followed that up with another album called Machine Head. I think Fireball may have come between the two, but nevertheless, another classic, which of course featured Smoke on the Water, which is probably their best known track. He also produced two albums for Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell, with Ronnie James Dio on vocals, and Mob Rules, the one afterwards. So these are the two studio albums that he did with the band. This must have been really difficult for Ronnie because he was stepping into the shoes of one Ozzy Osbourne, who'd been with the band for about 10 years. But I think Martin got the new sound just right. And it was great for the time. This was the early 80s. So the whole new wave of British heavy metal was happening. And these were the old guys coming back. But I think they gave a really good account of themselves with these two albums. And in no small part due to the work that Martin Birch did on the two albums. Another one I want to mention is Wishbone Ash again, with possibly their biggest album, Argus, which is that one there. Brilliant twin guitar attack. And the last one I want to mention is Rainbow Rising. This was probably Rainbow's best selling, or to me, their top album. After this, or a few after this, they started to go a bit more commercial into the American market. But this featured Cozy Powell amongst other guys, obviously Richie Blackmore and Ronnie James Dio on vocals. Great album. And also really good production by Martin Birch. So that's just my small tribute to Martin Birch, sadly no longer with us. But he produced or engineered some classic albums, and I urge you, if you haven't listened to any of these yet, I think he did something like 41 albums all in all. Mostly well-known bands, some not so well-known. But yeah, just check out what he's done. And you'll hear in all the albums he had a particular style. And for me, it was just his style, great sound. So there we have it, my little tribute to Martin Birch. Catch you guys soon with a drive-by truckers video. If you like this, please subscribe, comments down below, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.